Hi, friends, and welcome back to Grief and Motherhood, a podcast where we talk about the raw, unfiltered emotions of grief and motherhood and finding our way through the pain. I'm Kaitlin, and if you're new here, I just want to say you are not alone. This is a safe space to talk about the deep heartbreak that comes with loss and the journey of healing. Before we get deeper into today's episode of Navigating Grief in Relationships, I want to take a moment to talk about something that's really helped me through my own healing. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. When I was navigating the early days of grief, everything felt heavy. My emotions, my relationships, even my identity as a mother. Therapy gave me space to feel seen, supported, and safe, even to just be without pressure to have it all together. A therapist won't try to fix your pain, but they'll sit with you in it. They ask questions that help you understand yourself, your patterns, and your healing process. That kind of support can change everything, especially when you're grieving. BetterHelp makes starting therapy easier. You fill out a short questionnaire and they match you with a licensed therapist in as little as 48 hours. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch therapists at any time at no extra cost. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform many grieving mothers have turned to for support. Visit betterhelp.com/griefandmotherhood to get 10% off your first month of therapy. That's betterhelp.com/griefin-motherhood. You'll find the link right at the top of today's episode description. Today's episode is one that so many of us struggle with, and that's navigating relationships during grief. Whether it's with a partner, family, friends, or even our own children, grief impacts the way we connect with people in our lives. It changes us, and sometimes it changes the relationships around us. So if you've ever felt misunderstood, disconnected, or even frustrated with how others respond to your grief, this episode is for you. We'll talk about common challenges, the shifts in relationships, and ways to foster connection even when grief makes it feel impossible. One of the hardest things about grief is that it's deeply personal, yet it impacts everyone around us. When we lose a child, whether through miscarriage, stillbirth, or infant loss, the way we see the world shifts. Naturally, the way we interact with others shifts too. So let's start with partners. If you're in a relationship, you may have already noticed that you and your partner grieve differently. One of you may want to talk about the loss constantly, while the other may withdraw and process in silence. This difference in coping styles can lead to tension, misunderstandings, and even resentment. I remember feeling so isolated in my own grief because my husband and I processed our losses differently. In completely different ways. I wanted to talk, to cry, relive memories, while he felt like he had to be strong and hold everything together. And in that, there were moments where we felt the other person didn't fully understand. And then there's family and friends. Some people will show up in ways that surprise you, in the best ways. Others may say things that unintentionally hurt, or they may even disappear altogether. People don't always know what to say, and sometimes their discomfort with grief causes them to avoid the conversation entirely, or, again, to say things they don't actually mean. Have you ever heard someone tell you to just stay positive or everything happens for a reason? Those phrases, though often well-meaning, can feel dismissive. And when people don't acknowledge your loss in the way you need, it can create a rift in your relationships. Let's also not forget our relationship with ourselves. Grief can bring up feelings of guilt, anger, and even self-blame. It can make us question literally everything. Who we are, who we were before the loss, and who will we become. That internal struggle can sometimes make it hard to connect with others at all. So how do we navigate these relationship shifts while still honoring our grief? The first thing is communication, honest, open communication. That is so important. With a partner, it's important to recognize that you're both grieving, even if it looks differently. Instead of assuming that they don't care or that they're handling it wrong, try talking about your grief without expectations. One of the things that helped me and my husband was setting a specific time to check in. It wasn't forced, but it was intentional. Maybe for you, it's sitting down at the end of the day and just asking, how are you feeling today? Without trying to fix anything, just listening. With friends and family, setting boundaries is crucial. If certain comments are hurtful or unhelpful, it's okay to say, I appreciate your support, but I need something different right now. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your grief. If you need space, if you need someone to just sit in silence with you, ask for it. Grief is already heavy, so carrying the weight of others' expectations only makes it heavier. Here's something we don't talk about often enough. Grief can sometimes cause relationships to end. And as painful as that is, it's okay. Sometimes people in our lives aren't capable of holding space for our grief, and that's not necessarily a reflection of us, it's a reflection of them. Some friendships may fade because people don't know how to support us. Some family members may distance themselves because grief makes them uncomfortable. It's painful to feel abandoned in grief, but if someone in your life cannot show up for you in the way you need, it's okay to create distance. Protect your peace. Surround yourself with people who make space for your grief, even if that means finding new connections in support groups or online communities. Not all relationships are lost in grief. Some can actually grow stronger. When we communicate our needs openly, when we allow people to support us, and when we give grace to those who are trying their best, we create space for deeper connections. If you're feeling disconnected from your partner, consider grief counseling together. If a friendship has been strained, but you believe it can be repaired, have a conversation about what you need. And if your relationship with yourself has suffered, find small ways to show yourself compassion, whether it's journaling, therapy, or just simply reminding yourself that your grief is valid. If you take nothing else from this episode, please remember this. You are not alone in your grief. Your relationships may change, but that doesn't mean you're unlovable or that your grief is too much. Grief is messy and it's complicated, and it impacts every relationship we have, including the one with ourselves. Through open communication, boundaries, and giving ourselves grace, we can navigate these shifts in a way that honors both our loss and our healing. I'd love to hear from you. How has your grief impacted your relationships? Have you found ways to rebuild or strengthen connections? Send me a message or connect with me on Instagram. Let's continue this conversation. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing this space with me. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. You're doing the best you can.